So you are thinking of moving to Kitchener, Ontario? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you around Kitchener, Ontario. I'm actually going to take you through some neighborhoods and show you some different homes in different price points so you can see what may fit with your budget. What I'm also going to do, so we're going to take a tour of 3 different neighborhoods. There's going to be a home in the price point of 600,000, 900,000 and 1.2 million. So that will give you a decent idea as to what each of those price points can get you here in Kitchener, Ontario, and we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo and surrounding towns, then subscribe below and tap on bell for notification so you can be the first to learn about current market in Kitchener and surrounding towns. My name is Dharmik and I'm a local real estate agent here in Kitchener, Ontario. I do serve Kitchener, Cambridge and Waterloo. I do get calls, texts, emails from people just like you looking for help making their move to Kitchener and surrounding towns, and I absolutely love it. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, even schedule a Zoom call. All the information is in the description below so I can help you make a smooth move to Kitchener and surrounding towns. So as I was mentioning, today we are, as you can see right behind me, that's the Kitchener City Hall, and I'm actually in the historic downtown area of Kitchener. I'm gonna turn around so you get a good look at the downtown strip. This is the heart of Kitchener and the City Hall is right located at the heart of Kitchener downtown, as typically it is. One thing to note about Kitchener is, there's a little bit of everything. Predominantly and historically, it used to be a manufacturing town. At a given point in history, more than half of the population was actually engaged in the manufacturing in terms of the workforce. Now that has changed in last decade, where there's quite a bit of diversification. They do have a fair share of IT, digital media. It has a good startup ecosystem where there are a bunch of startups popping up in the Waterloo region. And service industry is also doing well and booming as well. So it's well diversified work economy as well. At the same time, Kitchener does have a population right now, as per the recent census data, it does have a population of 256,000, while the total population of the Waterloo region is 576,000. So as you can get some idea, Kitchener actually is one of the biggest town in the region itself, where close to half of the population does comprise of Kitchener, Ontario. In terms of the real estate, one thing to note is you will get a little bit of everything. So there's plenty of new construction that's popping up, particularly if you talk about Dune South, Huron Park, and if you go further west down on Highway 8, you will get Trustler. There's quite a bit of new development going on in Kitchener, even in the center of the Kitchener by the Fairview Park Mall and the downtown Kitchener. There's condos popping up as well. So there's quite a bit of new development, while there is also quite a bit of older homes as well. So depending on what you're looking for, you could find something that you're looking for, whether it's new construction or old construction. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, in terms of dining options, like you have plenty of dining options, and we have restaurants coming up every single day. So you do have quite a bit of dining options. You do have quite a bit of recreation. I'll get into that as well. And at the same time, I'll also take you a tour of each of those neighborhoods, as I mentioned. So you'll get a decent idea as to what that town looks like. I can tell you guys, it is no longer like, that underdeveloped or a country town. As you can see, I'm not sure, I'll take you on a tour to the downtown strip as well. But, it does not feel anywhere close to like a small town. It doesn't give you that small town feeling. It does have a booming economy of its own, and it's going up every day and growing pretty well. So, and let's get into it right now. So I'm gonna drive down to the downtown strip, and then I'm actually gonna take you to our first stop, and we are getting after it right now. All right, guys, so we are actually at our first property here. This is a 3 bedroom, 3 washroom condo townhome. It's about 1,355 square feet, listed at 619,000. It's a 2002 built, and you can see the property right behind me. This is the corner unit town that we are looking at. And it's a pretty decent size actually. 1,355 square feet is ideal for a townhome. I've seen townhomes like as small as 1,000 square feet, while some of them are pretty big, and they go up to even 1,500 square feet sometimes. The one thing I wanted to mention is 600,000 is an interesting price point. There are a couple of options in this price range in Kitchener, Ontario. One, you can either get something like this that's slightly newer. As I said, it's a 2002 built, so you get a new construction, or you could go with something completely freehold and more like a bungalow or a back split. There's actually behind the street in the same neighborhood, there's a back split, 2 bedroom, 2 washroom, and 2 below ground bedrooms. So in total 4 bedroom, back split listed for 600,000. So it's you have to pick your bets. As I mentioned, it's a condo townhome. This house does have a condo fee of $450, which is pretty steep for many first-time home buyers, right? But you do get some amenities like landscaping and snow removal and things like that is looked after, and you get a newer construction. Or you can actually look at, like I said, something like a back split, which is completely freehold. That house, I believe it's 1980s. So it's a little bit older than this one, but you will get a bigger lot and even more driveway space. I will take a moment hopefully to show you around that one as well, so you can actually compare and get a decent idea as to how the two of them compare. But that 650 is an interesting price point. I do know many first-time home buyers do actually fall within that price range. That is why I wanted to bring that up, because when you cross that 650 mark, and you will likely find something that's freehold completely, but in that 6 to 650 range, you will definitely find some freehold, some condo towns, depending on the overall size and the construction. This house that we just saw, 1,355 square feet for that price range, will get you somewhere around $458 per square feet. I don't know exactly how much it'll be. I did some math, but I just can't remember on the top of my head right now. But that's what you're looking at. The important thing to note, however, if you do compare another property and find out the per square footage cost, this one does have a condominium fee of $450, while the other homes that you might find in this price range might turn out freehold. I would rather say, looking at something for 600 that's comes with a condo fee versus paying 650 for something that does not have a condo fee. I mean, might turn out better for you overall. And even think about when you have to sell the house. Oftentimes, a house like this would be a starter home for many people. It oftentimes won't be a destination home for many people. So that's just one thing you do have to keep in mind as to when you decide to sell the property, what that would look like for you, and how much appreciation something like this could get you, and whether it may or may not work in your favor. So hopefully I gave you some food for thought. We're actually that wraps up our first tour for this property. We're actually gonna cruise around, and I'll show you around the neighborhood. We're gonna head down to our second property, which is again, I'll actually stop by in between to show you that 600,000 back split I'm talking about, and then we will head down to our second property, which is in the 900,000 range, so you get a decent idea, and we're getting after it right now. All right, so there was a quick detour to one stop in between. As I was mentioning earlier, 600,000 right behind the street that I was in. This is a 4-level back split that's listed at 600,000, And this is actually the property I was talking about. And you can see it right behind me actually. So this is the one on the left, is the one I was referring to, and the one I was talking about. So this is an interesting price point, as I was mentioning. You could get away with something like this. It has 2 above ground bedrooms and 2 bedrooms below ground, and it has 2 washrooms. This one is, however, a 1988 built, so that's where you have to settle with a little bit of an older construction. But I mean, on the plus side, you do get a bigger lot, you get a freehold property, and you get a bigger driveway space overall. So there are some plus and some minus. As a buyer, that's where you will have to actually decide and see what you are exactly looking for, and what that dream house or at least a starter home looks like for you. In terms of recreation, you do have plenty of good options, and I'll get into it as we drive down to our next property for $900,000 range, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the recreation options in the Kitchener, Ontario. So stay tuned. We're actually getting after it right now, and I'll drive you around with me so you can take a look at this neighborhood as well. All right, so here we are at our next stop. This is a single garage detached home listed at just under 900, exactly 899,999. It's a 3-bedroom, 3 washroom, and it has a finished basement. It has 2 bedrooms below ground in the basement as well. So in total, you're getting 5 bedrooms, you're getting 3 washrooms, and obviously the finished basement and a detached home. I'm actually approaching the property, and I'm actually gonna turn around so you can get a nice look at the property. This is the one we are talking about, listed at 900 again, in a Forest Heights neighborhood of Kitchener. And as you can see behind me, as I walk towards the other side, there is a conservation area right behind me. So as I was mentioning about the recreation, so in our previous property, this is what I was talking about. So Kitchener does have some great conservation areas, like not like gigantic, but decent enough for you to spend a day for hiking. We do have our Grand River as well. So if you're a water person, I love being around water as much as possible. And Grand River has plenty of options. There are plenty of trails that go around the river, so you can go hiking, biking, even do your fishing. Grand River does actually connect Tri-Cities, so Cambridge, Kitchener, and Waterloo. And actually, it's pretty big and long. It does go all the way to Brantford and even to Paris, I believe. So, you do have your great options. If you do like being around like lake waters, like Lake Ontario, as I know some of the GTA suburbs and, places like Oakville, Burlington, they are surrounded by the Lake Ontario. You can head down there. It's not too bad. It's like a 1-hour drive from here. So you can always spend a day there if you decide to have, grab a bite to eat outside in a nice restaurant and still head back to Kitchener in the evening. So, that's always an option if you're a lake person and like being around the lake. But other than that, the town itself and the neighboring towns like Cambridge and Waterloo, they do have its own charm and own things to do. So you do have plenty of recreation as well around here in Kitchener. So that that pretty much does hopefully does give you some idea about this 900,000 price point that I just showed you. Again, in this price range, you're likely looking at what we call a single garage detached. So it's a single garage most likely, but you will have a double wide driveway. So you can ideally park 2 cars side by side, but it's not a double garage detached. They would typically start like houses like this would typically range around 14 to 1800 square feet in most cases. They will not cross 2000 square feet based on the lot size and the overall build out. But for a decent price point of 900,000, It's not actually a bad option for you to own a detached home with the finished basement that has 2 bedrooms. And it does give you plenty of living space, including the basement as well. And a detached is a detached. I mean, you could get a semi as well that is more or less the same size, but this is also a pretty good options. And like I said, this is located in the Forest Heights neighborhood, pretty good neighborhood. Average median household income in this particular neighborhood is 110,000. And at the same time, a lot of young families, like 76% of the households have reported young child in the household. So as you can see, this should give you some idea. And just as I was talking about young children, you can see right behind me there are a bunch of kids actually walking. So it's very close to the school as well. You can literally walk to the school. Like, they're pretty good schools and walking distance in this neighborhood. So that's pretty good. So that wraps up our second tour. We're actually gonna go to our final destination. That's a $1.2 million property. I'm gonna take you through with me, so stick around and I'll show you what the neighborhood looks like as well. Okay, so we are at our final stop here, and I'm going to show you shortly a $1.2 million property in terms of what that looks like. It is actually a 4-bedroom, 3-washroom, double garage, detached property that's sitting on about 5,000 square feet lot. So it's a decent size in terms of the overall build out as well as the lot. The square footage in terms of the living space is just over 2,000 square feet. So as I was mentioning earlier in the previous property, that it's double garage detached. Ideally, you do want to have at least 2,000 square feet and up to make sure you have a decent living space. And lot size will typically range 5,000 square feet and up. So this property, we're gonna approach it very shortly. But just also one thing I wanted to also talk about is the connectivity in Kitchener when it comes to highway access. So Kitchener is accessible from the GTA if you're commuting any parts of GTA. It is accessible from Highway 401, and then you will take Highway 8. While Cambridge, depending on what part of Cambridge you are, you could actually have direct connectivity to Highway 401. So, many people actually having to commute to GTA or parts of GTA, they actually do prefer, Cambridge over Kitchener because it's closer to them. Or especially for people who have friends and family who are, all the way in GTA, and do visit them often. I mean, Cambridge might turn out better for you. But having said that, it's just about not too far off. And on the other side, living in Kitchener, you are close to both Cambridge and Waterloo, as well as Guelph is not too far. I mean, I live in Kitchener myself, and I used to be in Cambridge before. And, Kitchener is about 1 hour from GTA. Like, if I'm talking about something like Mississauga, if I'm also talking about something like, Toronto, you're looking at 1.5 hours from at the most on a weekend, like especially when there's no traffic. That's what you're looking at. So it's really not that bad. But like I said, there is a highway connectivity. Cambridge is better. You have direct access to 401. Kitchener, you have to take Highway 8, come a little bit further, and then you have Waterloo that's even further than Kitchener. So that's just a bit about the highway connectivity. One thing also I wanted to talk to you about is the shopping options. We talked about recreation. We talked about some neighborhoods in your shopping option in Kitchener. Kitchener does have like its own mall, like it's called Fairview Park Mall. It does have pretty good shopping options for the most part. I mean, we do have all the big box stores as well. It's a pretty developed town. I wouldn't say it's an underdeveloped town anymore. But at the same time, I mean, if you have to do your fancy pants shopping, you could always go and drive down to like one of the bigger malls, like, for example, Square One in Mississauga, or like an Eaton Center in Toronto downtown all the way if you have to do your fancy pants shopping. But like I said, for the most part, you won't have to commute there as often, as you will find most of the stores here in Kitchener. But just wanted to give you a quick idea about different shopping options that you have in Kitchener. we have our Costco as well, actually. So it's really not that bad. Waterloo has its own mall, like, it has a boardwalk, which is on the border of Kitchener and Waterloo, which is an outdoor strip mall. And you also have Waterloo has, I believe, a Conestoga mall as well. So, pretty good shopping options, dining options as well. It's pretty diverse. This is the property I was talking right behind me. That's, double garage detached. You can take a better look at this. So 4-bedroom, 3 washroom, once again, 2,000 square feet, sitting on a 5,000 square feet lot roughly. It's a 1976 build. So, if you can look at the trees as well, like, some of the other properties that we saw today, the tree will give you a good idea about how established the neighborhood is. Is it new? Is it old? Because Kitchener does have some neighborhoods which are pretty new versus the other neighborhoods are quite old. So, that should hopefully give you a good idea as to what 1.2 can buy you in Kitchener. And that pretty much does wrap up this video and the final tour. I am going to take you around and cruise you through the neighborhood so you can get a decent idea of the neighborhood as well. Just by me walking through, you can see most of them, all the houses, in fact, they are detached. All the houses in this line are double garage detached, but I'll still drive you around just so you get a better idea. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All the information is in the description below, and I'd love to help you make a smooth move to Kitchener, Ontario. Till then, well, I hope to show you around town.